this set of nails that I'm doing today is an order that I have for a client. So I've already picked out her selected sizes, and we're just going to get started and jump right into the video. Like I said, if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to see more videos like this in the future, just give me a thumbs up and let me know. So first, as always, we are going to start by taking the shine off of these nails. Okay, so I have prepped my nails and they are ready to go. Like I said, please excuse my nails. I will be doing them at the end of the video. But let's just jump right into this case. Dannette and Jeannette Millbrook were two 15-year-old fraternal twins, last seen on March 18th, 1990 in Augusta, Georgia. So they've been missing for roughly... well, actually it'll be 32 years this week, guys. So they've been missing for a very long time. Like I said, they were 15 years old when they initially went missing, and once you hear this story, you will know why I wanted to just spread some awareness on this case, as well as with it being the anniversary, well, soon to be the anniversary. I definitely chose this one to go first. On March 18th, 1990, the sisters, the twins, and I will most likely reference them as the twins, but again, their names are Dannette and Jeannette Millbrook, and I will post their names on the screen so that you guys have the correct spelling. But on March 18th, 1990, Dannette and Jeannette Millbrook left their home to go to their godfather's house to essentially get some money. So so godfathers are for, right? And it is reported that they did end up making it there. The godfather have several reports, and it's been confirmed that he did end up giving them $20 for bus fare for school for the week. And from there they went to their cousin's home, and this is where the case kind of gets a little strange for me. So after leaving their godfather's house, they stopped at their cousin's home to see if the cousin could walk them home that evening. It wasn't even late. It was about, say, 4:30, 5 o'clock. The time changes depending on where you look. So some say that they were last seen at 4:30. Some articles say that they were last seen around 6, but either way, the story doesn't change, just the time varies slightly. So they went to their cousin's home to see if they can walk with them because it was getting dark, but their cousin's mom said no, it's getting late. So they didn't let her walk the twins home. So after that, they walked to their older sister's house and asked her, can you walk us home? They never said why, but they did ask. And because their older sister had recently had a baby, she had recently given birth, she couldn't walk them home. Mothers out there, you guys know how it is. One, you probably don't even have the energy and the physical ability to walk someone home and then walk back. And not to mention, you have a newborn baby, you don't want your newborn baby out. So naturally, I myself included would have said no too. So, and the twins were together, thinking like a big sister. The twins were together, and she just was like, no, I'm unable to do it, but let me know when you make it home. So they left the sister's house and headed home. So on their way home, it is reported and confirmed that they stopped at a pump and shop gas station, got some snacks, and headed home supposedly. But that is the last reported sighting of the girls. So after they left the godfather's house, they went to the cousin's house, and then went to the older sister's house, and then went to the gas station. Everybody's following? I hope so. So because this is about the only confirmed information that we have, and then everything else is like pure speculation or non-existent information. So the more I get into the story, the more you will understand why I actually wanted to do this case. So Dannette and Jeannette Millbrook were last seen on the corner of 12th Street and Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard in Augusta, Georgia. Around 4:30 p.m. according to my Google search, around 4:30 p.m. They came in, grabbed some snacks, and essentially was headed home, and that is the last that they were seen. It's absolutely crazy. So naturally, you know, as a mother, you know, their mother is sitting home and just waiting for their daughters to come home. After some time went by, you know, she goes out to look for them, you know, and can't find them. So then she does what anyone else would do. You know, you call around, hey, Godfather, did they make it there? Oh, yeah, they came, girl. After that, you know, she's looking around. Have you seen, you know, Dannette and Jeannette? After some time goes by, she calls the police, of course. And, you know, what did the police tell you? When you have, I don't even know if I want to start this off like that, but this case just pisses me off so much. It's just, so the mother calls the police, and the police tell her, you know, you have to wait 24 hours before you can report them missing, which I think is bogus, because they say in these missing person cases, I don't even want to say missing child cases, but in these missing person cases, they say that the first 24 hours is the most crucial. So why, you know, should you tell someone to wait 24 hours before initially reporting someone missing? But that's what she was told to do. So that is what she did. But she didn't just sit at home. They were looking. The family was out looking for the girls. Next day after the mother files the police report, this case really gained little to no media attention whatsoever, which, you know, is strange because we have 2 children missing. So no Amber Alert was filed or anything. So we have 2 missing children, and the case just really just goes cold from there. I'm just as flabbergasted, speechless, lost for words as anyone else would be, and I'm just, you know, reporting the case. I'm not living through it, right? So the case is pretty much cold, and then in 1993, Dannette and Jeannette's mother are told by the police that their names are taken off of the missing persons database. Get this, y'all. They are told, the family is told, that their names have been taken off the missing persons database because, and I quote, child, the girls will now be 17, and should they be found, right? Y'all hear me correctly. I want to make sure y'all get this. Should they be found, they're at an age where law enforcement cannot force them to come home. So law enforcement did what law enforcement typically does and ruled them, or they didn't rule them runaways, but it was implied, you guys know how it goes, that these twins left willingly, you know, weeks before their birthday. I don't know if I stated before, but their birthday is April 2nd, 1974, I believe. And I will confirm that. If I get it wrong, I will add it on the screen. But April 2nd is their birthday. I just want to make sure I get the year correct. And that is essentially it, you guys. Like, there's nothing else that happens from 1993 until it was picked up again in 2013. Yeah, 20 years later is when the case picks back up. So, and let's go back. So in 1993, It's reported that the original records from the case, the original notes, documents, missing persons report, the original quote-unquote investigation that was supposedly conducted, all of that information has been misplaced and or discarded if it was ever recorded or reported to begin with, right? Right. So here we are, 20 years later in 2013. The case starts gaining a little bit more momentum. And a new investigation begins. And I don't want to fail to mention that in the original report, Jeannette, let's get their names correct, Jeannette Latrice Millbrook and Dannette Latanya Millbrook. Those are their names. I will put their names correct spelling on the screen because in the original report, the names were misspelled. In 2013 is when investigators go out, question the godfather, question the cousin, interview the older sister, interview the employee at the pump and shop gas station where they were last seen. 20 years later. 20 years later. 20 years later. So anyway, according to social media and Google searches, these twins essentially disappeared. Like, they essentially disappeared. Now, watching the Oxygen documentary that was done on them, it says that earlier the day that they went missing, they walked to Church's Chicken, and these are 15-year-old girls. So, I mean, you guys remember walking with your friends, or, and it's two of them, so no one's thinking anything's gonna happen. We all grew up on the buddy system, if you're old enough to remember those commercials. The buddy system. But they walked to Church's Chicken and came home and told their mother that someone in a white van was following them, but it was never reported. Nothing ever went beyond that. They ate their chicken, chilled out at home for a little bit, and then later on is when they decided to walk to the godfather's house. But once the twins did go missing, it would make you wonder, did anyone investigate this white van that was following them, or that the twins said was following them? But it's just like, we don't know. This is definitely the coldest of the cold cases. And of course, we can give a lot of speculation as to why, right? Why the police dropped the ball. Remember, this is 1990. It's in the South. Why do you think they just were ruled as a runaway? Just, that's how they do us, guys. That is why I decided to do Black and Missing on this channel. I don't want to fill this report with a bunch of opinions of mine, but I mean, we will call a spade a spade. This case was not taken seriously at all, so inquiring minds want to know why. Now, there is a lot of mixed reports on what exactly happened to them. I watched an interview the older sister did, or the younger sister did, on YouTube about her sisters, Dannette and Jeannette Millbrook, where it said the police told them that the girls were headed to Texas. In 1990, what did they do? Hitchhike? Because there was no Uber. They didn't have any money for a Greyhound. This is all according to the sister. They didn't have enough money for a Greyhound. They didn't have, it wasn't the age of social media where, we're meeting guys online. This is not even the chat room era, okay? Like, you don't just decide to go to Texas for whatever reason, right? And you don't know anyone there. You don't have any family there. You don't have, anything there. But I don't know if I reported, but I do want to report what they were last seen wearing. Jeannette Millbrook was last seen wearing a white turtleneck with a blue pullover, a beige skirt, white stockings, and white sneakers. And Dannette Millbrook was last seen wearing a white Mickey Mouse shirt, white jeans, and black sneakers. And I will post their pictures. It is said that there is and there's, mixed reports about it, but there is a $8,000 to $10,000 reward for any information that leads to finding them. I don't even know if that's still true, like if that money is still available, but whether it is or whether it isn't, if there's any information, I will post where you can report whatever you may know in the description box below. Her sister has an active Facebook page about the twins, and they recently just hired a private investigator as well. And as I stated before, it will be 32 years on March 18, 1990 is when they went missing. So it'll be 32 years, March 18, 2022. 32 years. I'm only 36, guys. That's more than half my life that this mother has been without her children. That's essentially my whole life that this mother has been without her children. Her twins. Not one girl didn't go missing, two. Right before their birthday. So you don't just disappear. Like, people don't just disappear. There is no way that you just without a trace. And I don't want to say that foul play is involved. You don't just disappear. So there is some speculation, there's some rumors, there's some assumptions, mixed reports and all of that, that the father of the girls has something to do with it. However, I was not able to find any proof of that, so I don't want to spread that false narrative of that being the case. We just don't know. It stated that he wasn't initially interested in the case or interested in helping out the case. And, as a parent, your child is missing, so why don't you want to help, right? But, he didn't. And, of course, we can all say what should have happened, what could have been done, what the police could have done differently, what, anyone could have done differently. We just don't know. We just don't know. But I definitely wanted to do this case to absolutely let you know, the family know that they have not been forgotten. The case has not been forgotten in the world of social media, in the world of just having the initial platforms to be able to just get the information out more easily. It's just not a lot of information about these girls. Goes to make you wonder, you know, why they requested twice. You know, they asked the cousin and the older sister to walk them home, and you know, it makes you wonder, and all of us speculate, of course, you know, were they being followed by that person in the white van that they saw earlier that day? Was someone preying on them? Did they have an eerie gut feeling? You know, anything, because they already are together. So the two of them felt unsafe even being together, which is why I think this should have been investigated definitely much better than it has. The police department absolutely dropped the ball on this, and you know, it's disheartening that in 2022, you know, in their case 32 years later, but you know, in 2022, where black kids go missing and the first thing that's said to the parents is, oh, they ran away. Like, we can't go missing, we just have to just run. Or they make you wait the 24 hours before you can file a missing persons report, or they, you know, already have the assumption of being a juvenile delinquent, so they don't take your case seriously. And you know, do I think that's what happened here? Absolutely. Prove me otherwise. Because when you listen to the sister's recount of that day and how she says the police treated her family, her mother, I absolutely think so. I believe that in my heart of hearts. And I didn't have to hear the sister's interview to lead me to believe that. I just, first of all, how do you take them out the missing persons database? First of all, how is the initial report misspelling their names? You have missing children, and the problem is they don't view our teenagers, male or female, as children. You know, things have definitely got to change when it comes to that. So as I stated, the family has now hired a private investigator to help with this case, going on 32 years later. And in no way am I implying, like, I'm not blaming the family. I absolutely blame the police department, the investigators, for how this case was handled. I'm just still shocked that we're at 32 years later and this family still has no answers. Like, none. How is that, like, not how is it possible, but the way that that must feel, you know. I couldn't imagine going 32 years not knowing what happened to my loved one. I won't even say my children, because it's not just the mother that was affected. So not knowing what happened to my loved one, my sister, my cousin, my friend. And then you see the media go crazy with these Amber Alerts, and you guys know what I'm getting at. You know, maybe we need like I don't want to catch any flack for it, but yeah, I know what I mean. Maybe we need a Dannette and Jeannette alert instead of an Amber alert, a Keisha alert. Yeah, I know what I mean. Because they just don't look for us in the way that they look for others. We don't have the same value to some people. That's precisely why I will be doing Black and Missing. I also follow, I tell you where I found this case. I follow Black Missing But Not Forgotten on Facebook. I'll link it below. So I came across their case because I'm like, twins? Like, how the hell twins go missing, you know? And I started reading up on the case, and I'm like, wow, 32 years ago? Like, and then when you know, you go down a rabbit hole and you find out that their names were well, actually, if you look it up now, the name is still misspelled, but the names were taken off the missing and exploited children's database. With no explanation. Like, make it make sense. Make it make sense for me, please. And if it makes sense for you, put the explanation below, because it's not making sense for me. And you know, the South is notorious for, well, you know, I was gonna say the police department is, but I'm not even gonna say that. I was just gonna say they dropped the ball. Period. Because they dropped it and attempted to pick it up 20 years later. 20 damn years later. 20 years. Jeannette Millbrook was last seen wearing a white turtleneck with a blue pullover, a beige skirt, white stockings, and white sneakers. That is Jeannette Millbrook. And Dannette Millbrook was last seen wearing a white Mickey Mouse shirt, white jeans, and black sneakers. And again, they were last seen on the corner of 12th Street and Martin Luther King Jr. Boulevard in Augusta, Georgia, leaving a pump and shop gas station / convenience store. And that is really, I don't want to say where the story ends, but that is really where their case just goes cold. It just goes cold. Like I said before, there is some speculation that the father may have had something to do with it. You know, they made sure to report that on the Oxygen documentary that was done, that, you know, the father definitely wasn't interested in helping to locate his daughters. Apparently there was a serial killer in the area during that time, but nothing has ever been proven, and I don't want to be up here falsely accusing someone of something that they haven't done, but I am going to put that information out. You can do your own research to find that person's name. I don't want to say, but he is a known, or was a known, serial killer in the area, and the police just really didn't investigate that either. One of the reports that I did read stated that the store clerk said that she did see a car outside, but I mean, it's a gas station, but she did see a car parked outside when the girls were at the gas station, but she can't confirm, deny whether or not that had anything to do with the girl's disappearance. We just truly just don't know, unfortunately, what happened to them. Like, we just don't know. We just don't know. But if there's any information, if anyone out there has information on what could have happened to the girls, I will list the information down below on who or what department you can get in contact with. And here is this set all complete. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe. If you have any information about the Millbrook Twins, just please leave a comment below or contact any of the information that I list below, and I'll pin it in a comment to make it easier for everyone. And stay tuned for the next one. Bye.